Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another session of Seestandup.com/TV. My name is Aaron Foster. Today we're going to discuss Joe Jackson, father of Michael Jackson. Today someone came up to me and said, "Hey man, why is Joe Jackson not so sad? What do you feel about Joe Jackson not crying on television because his son passed away?" Now, we all love Michael Jackson. I'm sure Joe Jackson loved Michael Jackson. Nobody will love a son more than the father, unless it's the mother, possibly. But the son does have a serious place in the father's heart. But Joe Jackson has gone through 50 years of Michael Jackson's bullshit. And you got to take that into consideration of why he's not publicly crying about this. He's cried enough. Now, what if your son slept with the Elephant Man in his bedroom or in his bed for a couple of years? That would be embarrassing to you. Your son going to the Grammys carrying around Monkey or Webster, whichever one he took to the Grammys. You know, sometimes they look the same to me. It's all right. You know, what if your son, besides having a different hair color, looked just like Ronald McDonald? You'll be embarrassed just like he was for 20, 30 years. Michael Jackson's first pet was a rat in their kitchen. You know, okay, they had issues. I understand. You know, so what? You know, but Joe Jackson is a father. He does love his son. So everybody step off of that situation. And it's primarily built around the issue of Joe Jackson whooped his kids when they was young. Back then, in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s, that's what you did. You whooped your kids to make sure that they came up with some sense. These young kids today don't have no damn sense. That's why, you know, Michael Jackson, if it wasn't for Joe Jackson, Michael Jackson would be a real effeminate, unemployed steel worker right now. Because the economy in Gary ain't doing real well, and I don't see Mike putting in the extra strength to keep a steel working job, which is what you're going to get in Gary if you can get a job. Them ass whoopers made their family rich. That's all I'm trying to say. They rich. They were successful. So what he set out to do worked. He enforced it with ass whippings. You know, the means justified the ends in that situation. In fact, in an economy like this, shit, Joe Jackson might be able to boost us out of this recession. He should be giving out ass whoopings left and right, getting people back on what they need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Them ass whoopings made people successful. I wish my family was rich. I had a Ferris wheel. I had a Never Land and all that, but I don't have that because I didn't have the ass whoopings like that. I didn't have the focus Joe Jackson put into their life. Now they turning their back on him because he was a strong, maybe a little bit too strong, you know, but whatever. Shit, them ass whoopings. In fact, there's a lot of kids these days who need them type of ass whoopings in their life. I think we ought to rent Joe Jackson out to mothers who are single and need somebody to come in and straighten their kid out. Shit. You know, you buy an Xbox 360 for your son and get a free Joe Jackson ass whooping coupon. That's what I feel that they should have out there. That's kind of silly, but you know, fuck it. We just talking. Yeah, Joe Jackson, you know, I think they should have a Joe Jackson, action figure. A Joe Jackson action figure. Come with a little belt and you push the back and the hand whoop like this. He can whoop all the other toys in the toy box. Whoop all their asses. He can beat up these little G.I. Joes and these Power Rangers and all this shit and drive off in the little, you know, Barbie Corvette with Barbie by his side. But the people need to just get off of Joe Jackson like that shit. Joe Jackson with a belt can save America. We ought to give Joe Jackson like a bronze belt. Shit, we ought to give Joe Jackson a belt store in Hollywood or somewhere close. You know, probably send his ass to Atlanta or Gary. That's where they're going to need him the most. That's where kids acting up the most. Shit. Send them there, give them a leather store where when you come in and buy a belt, you get a little pamphlet written by and signed by Joe Jackson that tells you how to whoop your kids and keep them straight and make them successful in life. shit, I don't see a whole lot of good shit happening for the future. And that's my word on Joe Jackson and the situation. Go to the website, Seestandup.com, sign up. We'll tell you where we're doing stand-up in your community. My name is Aaron Foster.